What we want to do today is using subqueries to solve queries. Objectives. After completing this lesson, you should be able to do the following. Define subqueries. Describe the type of problem that the subqueries can solve. List the type of subqueries. Write single role and multiple row subqueries. So they're already telling you that type of subqueries are single role and multiple row subqueries. Now, a subquery is a select statement that is embedded in the clause of another select statement. It's just like nesting, something like that. So a subquery is a select statement, you see, is a select statement that is embedded in the clause of another select statement. You can place the subquery in a number of SQL clauses, including the following: where clause, having clause, from clause. You will see me demonstrate them practically. Now look at the syntax. So we have the normal syntax, which is select, then select list from table, where expression operator, then this is the subquery. So like I read before, a subquery is a select statement that is embedded in the clause of another select statement. So you can see this is the syntax. So this one, you can see this blue line. This is a subquery. Select list from table. You see, it's still a select statement, but you are now putting the select statement inside the select statement. So this is an example of putting it in the where clause of another select statement. Now, the subquery, which is called the inner query, executes before the main query, which is what? The outer query. The result of the subquery is used by the main query. In the syntax, operator includes a comparison condition such as greater than, equals to, or in. This operator. So this is not English language. You don't read it like English. This is from table, where expression, this expression is maybe a column that you are going to supply. Then this is an operator, which is either equals to, greater than, less than, in. We have done operator before. So operator, if this is, let's say this is where salary equals to, then you now write a subquery. So this one will now be select salary from table, and then you put the condition. So this one will operate first, return an answer. That answer will now be used to execute this one. That's how it works. So the result of the subquery is used by the main query. This is the main query. This is the subquery. In the syntax, operator include a comparison condition such as greater than, equals to, or in. Note, comparison conditions fall into two classes: single row operators, which are greater than, equals to, greater than or equals to, less than, not equals to, less than or equals to, and multiple row operators, which is in, any, all. We are going to see them demonstrated practically. Then this is an image of how it works, using a subquery to solve a problem. Example is, who has a salary greater than Abel? So Abel is an employee in a company, and you are now saying, who has a salary greater than Abel? Now, to solve that problem, you need to first and foremost find out the salary of Abel. So finding the salary of Abel will be the subquery. So this is it. Which employee have salaries greater than Abel's salary? Now the subquery will be, what is Abel's salary? So whatever the answer of this inner query return, that is what this outer query will now use to now give you your final output. So that is the meaning of a subquery. You are using subquery in a place where the condition is unknown. Like this one now, the salary of Abel is unknown. So we have to find it before we can be able to tell who earns salary that is above that. So just like that question now that was asked, who are those employees that are earning salary more than Abel? Now the first thing is, so I'm going to say select star from employees, right? Now if I run this query, It's going to give me my employees, bringing them out from the table. So I want to find out if I have Abel in this place. So I can just come here and say, select start from employee, where first name. So let know if it is where first name equals, because it is a character data type, we are going to put it in a single quote. Then I know that usually they start with first letter uppercase. So I'll just say Abel, uh, right? So select start from employees where first name equals to Abel. I'm going to execute this. So what will it do? It won't return all the rows. It will return only that row that has Abel. So I click here. You can see that there is no first name that is Abel. So I'm going to change this one to last name. Let's see if it is last name. So I'm going to run this again. You see, we have Abel, Ellen Abel. So you can see. You see how I brought it out? Okay, now, what is Abel's salary now? It's 11,000. So I'm going to write that query for the system to show me everybody that is earning salary that is more than this 11,000. So initially, I don't know Abel's salary. So I'm going to write using subquery. I'll say select. I can say star from employees. From employees. Now, I will now say where salary is greater. Are you with me? I can put this. Now, where salary? Now, that is what they are telling you. What they are telling you here. Now, I've written select list from table where the expression now, I am putting salary as the expression. Then I'm going to pick my operator, which is greater than. Where salary is greater than, then I'm now going to write this subquery. I have to put in parentheses, you can see. So I'm going to write this subquery. So I'm going to say where salary greater than. Now I'm going to write the subquery. I will now put parentheses here. Usually I just open and close. Then I come inside and I type. There I will now type select salary from employees where last name, last underscore name, right, equals to Abel. I'll put it in single quote. So what I'm saying is, because there is parentheses here, the Oracle server is going to operate on that one first and foremost. Then the answer it will return is what is going to use to execute this one. So I can break this down the way we normally break down our code. Break this down. Break this down. Now, because this is, I can break it down from here, but I will bring it here. Are you with me? So I can leave my query like this. This one is the subquery. This is the subquery. So this one will be executed first. Now let me end. I will end here. This query will have to be executed first. The answer will now be returned to this place. And then this one will now be executed. So select star from employees where salary greater than, then this one. I'm going to bring out all the rows of the people. So select salary from employees where last name equals to Abel. This one is going to return only the salary of Abel. Are you with me? This is a single row subquery. Single row subquery. That is what it's telling you here. Note, comparison condition fall into two classes, single row operators and multiple row operators. So when you use this kind of operators, it means you are expecting your subquery to return one single column and one single row. One column, one row. That is what your query is going to return. If your query is going to return multiple rows, you can't use any of these operators. it is these ones you will use. So it means that this is my output. Let me just run this output. Let me run this. Let me just select it alone and execute for you to see. See, I didn't include those parentheses. I only selected just what is inside the parentheses. Now I'm going to execute it. Now, can you see? So this inner query is going to return 11,000. So this 11,000 now is now what is going to be here. So this query will now read, select star from employees where salary is greater than what? 11,000. So it's going to return all the rows that have salary greater than 11,000. So when I click here and I run this query, it's going to run all this. This is my query. But it will run this one first and foremost. Get the answer, which is 11,000. Return it to this place. And then this one will now execute. So let's run it. Now, can you see that? Now, it returned only 10 rows. Only 10. So these are the employees that have salary greater than 11,000. So look at all of them. Can you see that? Their salaries are all greater than 11,000. I don't want all these columns to come out. I can now say select last name, first name, first underscore name, comma, salary from employees where salary greater than this. So I'm going to reduce the columns that are returned. So I just click on this and I execute. See. So these are the employees that are earning salaries greater than Abel. All these, just 10 of them. So out of 107 employees, only 10 employees are earning salary that is greater than Abel's salary. And Abel's salary is what? 11,000, which when you run this inner one, you will find out. So based on an unknown condition, you have to use a subquery to get your output. Give me employees that are earning the same, that are doing the same job with Abel, but are earning higher salary than Abel. So how do we write that? And we will need to answer that question. First and foremost, we will need 3 select block. So we'll say select. We'll start from the outer query. Select, let's say, select job ID. Let's select last name, comma, job underscore ID, comma, and then salary. So this will be our final output. Last name, job ID, and salary. This will be our final output. Then from this select list is your choice. That is what is going to come out as your output. So select first name, last name, job ID, salary from employees, right? Then I will now introduce my condition where now the first condition is identifying the job ID of that employee, Abel. So select first name, last name, job ID, salary from employees where job ID underscore ID equals, now I'm going to write my subquery now. So I'll put it in parentheses and I will just say, so I need to write a subquery that is going to give me the job ID of Abel. So this will just be select job underscore ID from employees where last name, I think Abel was last name, where last name equals, then I'll put this in parentheses, in single quote, Abel. So this one is saying select job ID from employees where last name equals Abel. Now, I can also break this down too, like this. But this one will have to be under here. This makes your query nice. I can break this down. Yeah. So this is the subquery. This is the first subquery where job ID equals, select job ID from employees where last name equals Abel. So this one will tell me the job ID of Abel, and that job ID will be equated uh, to this output. Now, I need two conditions. So this one, I'm going to bring it here because this one will be for this clause. Two conditions. I was talking about employees that are doing the same job with Abel, but are earning more salary than Abel. Remember, I taught you the AND operator and the OR operator. So if you look at those previous lectures, you are now going to see how you are applying all those things. So where job ID equals then the subquery. This is the subquery that will return the job ID of Abel. Now I'm going to write the subquery that will return the salary of Abel. Where job ID equals to this, and you see, I bring in the and salary greater than two. Let me space it like this for you to see clearly. And salary greater than, then you are going to introduce another subquery here. So here now also say select, since it is salary I'm looking for, it's just salary column I'm going to pick, salary. Select salary from employees, where last underscore name is what? Equals Abel. Now, do you see that? So I'm going to, I can bring this down again too. So I can bring this down too. It has to be under the select clause because that is a subquery. So put it here. Bring this one down to this. Because I did it this way, you can see that this, quickly you will know that this is a subquery, and then this is another subquery, and then this is the main query. This is the main query. If I had written them in a straight line, it will still work, but it will look somehow. It will be confusing to you. So here I'm saying from employees, where job ID equals, then I'm calling a subquery. Select job ID from employees, where last name equals Abel. So this one will return the job ID of Abel. And salary greater than, then I will say select salary from employees, where last name equals Abel. This one will give me the salary of Abel. So where job ID equals, now if I run this, if I select this one and run, it will give me an output. See, it's giving me sales rep. So Abel job ID is sales rep. If I run this one, it will give me the salary of Abel. You see, salary of Abel is what, 11,000. So this query at the end of the day will be like this. I'm copying everything. This query at the end of the day will be like this. Remove this. Oh, I think it was 11,000, right? It was 11,000. Then remove this one. So I think it was S. Let's run this one and see. SA rep, okay. So SA underscore rep. Now look at this query. This query, right? When you execute it, this is how it is going to come before it will give you the final output. This is the last. This is what this query will turn to. So this inner query will execute and return 11,000. This inner query, which is the this subquery, it will execute and return sales rep. Then this outer query will now execute. Now, if I execute this one, see, look at, that means I have only one employee that is doing the same job with Abel and earning above Abel is earning 11,500. So it's giving me just one row. See, this is the final output. This is the output. Now I'm going to do this, return this back. So I'm going to run this query, which is this one. This is my main query. So I'm telling you that when I execute this query, before it will give me the final output, it's going to resolve to this. It's going to resolve to this. It will run the inner query, give me 11,000. Run this inner query, give me a sales rep, before it will now execute the outer query. So when I execute this query, see, it gave me the same answer. Are you clear?